Hey, I'm Joe from Aetheric, and you may or may not be experiencing a panic attack in this very moment. Whether or not that's the case, I'm going to get right to it. Here's the steps on how to shut down a panic attack. We'll start simple and gradually get more and more specialized. So sit tight, stay tuned, and follow these instructions. We'll begin with number 1, position. So first things first, and that's your basic posture and stance. The better your posture and position, the more circulation you'll have and the better you'll feel. Try and fight the urge to rush to a bathroom and curl up into a ball, which you've all done. Sure, you'll calm down eventually, but not because you're shrunk into a sphere, trust me. Instead, keep yourself open, lightly stretched out from head to toe. Your spine should be long, but not overextended. The real sweet spot to hit is when you feel your ribs lightly stretching vertically. Once you feel that, you're golden. Number 2, breath. So the number 1 thing that can worsen a panic attack is a lack of oxygen and an overabundance of CO2. Sometimes when we panic, we either stop breathing altogether or we breathe erratically and shallowly. So breathe. Slow it down as well. Long inhale, long exhale. If it's uncomfortable, shorten the duration a little bit, but try and make your breaths just a little bit longer than you typically would. And number 3, time. Speaking of slowing it down, time and our perception of it is a vital component of our anxiety that seemingly no one is talking about. I found that we tend to become most anxious when someone or something jars us out of our own personal tempo and forces us to match theirs. So, to revert your timing back to a clean state, there's a quick 10-second practice you can do. In a nutshell, you want to make this moment as close to 0 as possible. And for you math-minded individuals, imagine it as the slope of a curve at a single point, or the first derivative. And I'll create a video on this concept later for everyone else, but if this clicks for you, you'll grasp the concept instantly. For everyone else, the mere mention of calculus has likely triggered a second panic attack. So I'm going to hasten back on track here. Now, when we try and stretch out this moment, or try and make it fit someone else's pacing, it's quite exhausting. Unfortunately, we're doing this most of our lives, all the time. I'm hardly ever living in the moment. It's a real shame. So to reverse it, it's quite simple. All you have to do is shrink this moment down to the smallest instant you can perceive. It's as if you were turning your life into film, and each moment that you perceive becomes a single still picture, a single frame. Because if we're being truthful, time is literally just a construct. The only thing that ever truly exists is right now, and right now, and right now. The past literally no longer exists. It's long gone, and it only exists in our heads as a memory. And the future is equally non-existent. It's simply a concept or a daydream. So let them both go, and celebrate the only aspect that is actually real, this exact instant, this forever renewing now. And really, I'm being quite literal here. Check it out. All the particles that make up your body and your surroundings are popping in and out of existence millions of times a second. Quantum physics is odd at times, this is true, but in this case it's rather helpful. The you that you were less than a second ago is entirely different than the you that you are right now. So keep it up. Keep it going. If you can maintain this mindset, the actions of others will have no further sway with you. And how could they? When they last less than a fraction of a second. Number 4, shift focus. So with those 3 basics taken care of, the following techniques are specialized to circulate that overwhelming anxious weight out of your system. And to do this, we'll need to use a little visualization and intention. And so if the following sounds a little unusual, well, do it anyways. It'll only serve to help you. But before we can get into that, we'll need to reorient focus. So if it's placed on those around you, for example, worrying about how you appear to them or what they're thinking, then you'll only prolong the attack. There's plenty of time to fret over them later if you truly wish to. But for now, before you do anything else, you need to focus on yourself. And for that, you'll need a strong root. That brings us to number 5, grow roots. Now, one's root is a term often used in martial arts, and it loosely translates to one's balance, steadiness, or how well they stick to the earth, even when pushed or shoved. A visualization they sometimes use is to imagine literal roots sprouting from their legs and running straight down into the earth. So see yourself as a 1,000-year-old tree, a part of the landscape, with roots so vast and deep that nothing can do so much as rustle your leaves. So feel deep down into the imperturbable earth. It's cool, it's wet, it's still. Draw from that stillness, rest in it. Life as a tree, it's pretty chill. Number 6, lightning rod. So now, is your attack still going strong? Well, let's put those roots to work. So let's see them now as your own personal lightning rods, perfectly grounded and entirely dedicated to circulating excess anxious energy out of your system. So try and see your anxiety as a bubbling mass of electricity, and all it needs is a place to be safely transported. So do your best to mentally gather what you're feeling into a singular blob, if possible, and direct it all at once down your roots into the earth. No matter how anxious you're feeling or how severe the attack, the earth will ground whatever nastiness you're feeling, and more. Believe me, you can handle it. And finally, number 7. Can you see that? Maintain. So once you've hit this point, just do your best to maintain this state until you're feeling cool as a cucumber. And I know we've covered a lot of ground, so make sure that you're incorporating all of it from beginning to end. From a nice open posture to ensuring your breathing is long and measured. Erase the hiccups we typically have concerning time, and boil down this moment to the thinnest slice you can, and then savor it. And of course, ensure that your figurative roots run deep and that they help you transfer any excess energy to the earth, which is more than happy to transmute it for you. And with that, we're all done with the first method. Congratulations. You will most likely live another day. So I'm going to turn off this camera because it's looking pretty hot. It's a hot room. But I promise we'll be right back. So do that right now.